Welcome back to Lightroom Classic 2020. Today we're going to take a look at the Redeye filter, the Graduated filter, and the Radial filter. Now, we're not going to really do anything with the Redeye filter. It's pretty simple. If you get Redeye, you click on this filter here, it pops up. You have the option of a person or a pet. You click on the eye and it does its best to fix it. Sometimes it works perfect. Sometimes it doesn't really help at all. I don't have any images with Redeye. Redeye is not an issue that I ever run into. If you actually use a flash correctly, you'll never have it. All right, so the next thing that we're going to take a look at right here is the Graduated filter. And the Graduated filter is really easy. You just kind of select it or click on it over here. And then you click and you drag out. And let me move. So you have one line here, and one line here. Now the way that this works is outside of here, nothing is happening. It's starting to do the Graduated filter here, and it gets more intense until it gets to the center here, and then from here to here it's going to be in full effect. So I'll come in here and I'll drag this up, and so I can have those points close together, or I can have the points very far apart. I can rotate this way and I can rotate. So in this image, since it's kind of tilted, I can come up here and rotate this image like this. Now, once I've got that, I can hover over it and move it and get it where I want. And then I can come in here and adjust this filter for whatever I want to do. So in this case, if I want to darken this image, I'm darkening this image. It looks like it's darkening from the bottom up, which is the wrong way. So we'll go ahead and rotate this the other way. So now we're darkening this area and it's slowly, progressively fading away. And what this does is it kind of makes it so you don't get this like harsh transition line in the area, and it looks more natural. Once you've set your Graduated filter, and if you hover over it, it's kind of showing you the area once again where it's working. You can come in here. Any of these adjustments are available. You also have something called the range mask. So the range mask is kind of like the blend if filter in Photoshop, if you've ever used that. So what we'll do is you have the option in this case to use color, which we're not, or luminance, which would be lightness in this case. Now what this range mask is doing is letting you either keep this filter in a certain area or hide it. So in this case, if we just want to apply this Graduated filter to the light areas of the image, we want to keep this here. But if we want to start to remove it from some of the dark areas, we can slide this range mask. So now it's kind of like the darker midtones to the highlights where we're keeping the range mask. You have a smoothness adjustment right there as well to help kind of monitor that. You also have the ability to come in here and do color as well. We're not going to go ahead and hit color. I don't think it's as useful, but you definitely come in here and adjust color just like you can the luminance. Most of the time you're going to be doing the luminance value if you do something like that. If that doesn't work perfect, you also have a brush located up here. So you have this brush. What I can do is I'm going to hold my Alt key, and then notice I've turned this brush into a minus, and that's going to allow me to paint the Graduated effect out of building. Painted it out. If I want to paint it back in, all I need to do is release that, go to my brush, and then I can paint the Graduated effect anywhere I want in the image. Kind of defeat the purpose, but it allows me to do that. So you do have the ability to edit or change that information there. So that is the Graduated filter. I can come over here and we'll do this once again. We'll just pick another image. Right here, we've got the Graduated filter. We're going to come in here. We're going to select this. And we can go all the way down to the horizon line. I can come over here and I can darken this image. I could change the color or do anything I want, but we're just going to keep it simple. As you can see, it's darker here. and it progressively fades away. If you want this range mask to apply only to a specific area, you could easily come in here and click on this and turn on your range mask, and that way it will only apply to a very specific area. So that is the range mask. Come on over to this next image, and we're going to come up here and we're going to go to the radial filter. We're going to click on that, and this you just kind of drag out into the shape that you want. So the shape that I want is going to be about like this. Then I'm going to come over here. Notice I've got the hand, and I'm going to go ahead and move this. What this is doing now is creating a area as a radial or an ellipse of where I want to make an adjustment. And then what you would do, just like anything else, we can come in here and brighten up a specific area. Now you'll notice that right now it's not affecting this area and it's affecting this area. What we can do is come down here and hit invert, and that way it's affecting the area inside of the image. As I adjust this, you can see it's inside of that area. If I want to come in here and I just want to give this a little bit of light and open this area up a little bit, I can make some adjustments to make that happen. Just like before, we still have the range mask, so we can come in here and say, you only want this apply to certain areas. In this case, let's say I don't want to affect my shadows again. I can easily come in here down to the thing. I can slide this over, make this adjustment here where I'm brightening this up only happen to highlights, not the shadows. Or I can paint that out and take it out of the highlights, as you can see, and it only affects the shadows. Now it doesn't look good. That's because I made this crazy large adjustment, but it allows you to see in a video what is actually happening. So we'll go ahead and remove that. In this case, we are going to want to do both. And just like that, the range mask is allowing me to affect a specific area with this kind of ellipse tool. And once again, you have the availability to kind of invert or do this. And then you have a feather. The feather is how it blends out in that direction. That is a Redeye tool, the graduated filter, and the radial filter. Hopefully that has been helpful. If you have any comments or questions, you can leave those below. And as always, don't forget to subscribe.